I want to hear more about how you started up your cupcake business,
hmm
Frosted.
Yeah. So, like I said, I started it in eighth grade through a program called the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, which was a 30-week course that is tailored around students who are interested about business and who want to learn more. So, I had one of the directors of the program came into my classroom in eighth grade and like pitched this whole program, and I went home and I was like, this is so cool. Like the idea of turning your idea into a business and making money off of it, how like that's genius, right? And I was so excited over this like simple model, which like now like 8 years, 9 years later, I'm like, okay, Angelea, like that's what business is. But that's where the spark started. And so I enrolled in the course, and the first 10 weeks is idea generation. So you take an idea that you have or you develop a new one and really fine tune that. And then the next 10 weeks is taking the idea, crafting and implementing an entire business plan with all the financials, and then putting a business model together. After that, the last 10 weeks is presenting it and pitching it to investors to get real money to invest into your company, and then trade shows and marketing. So that's the course, or that's the program that I went through. And since then, it has grown into what I can call like a full time business. I'm doing it year round, primarily in the summer, but it's a cupcake catering company. And I work with clients during the school year when I'm busy at school and with all the things that I'm involved in here. And then I fine tune like details of events. I primarily cater weddings right now. And
Mm.
that's really been a shift of like my market. First, I started out with like family friends. Like I was only in eighth grade. So like what were my customers going to be? But as I've learned more about business and entrepreneurship in my classes and through the club that I started to implement what I've learned into my business. And that's really helped it grow. It's helped it scale, and it's really helped it change my clientele from those like 35-year-old moms who want cupcakes for their kid's birthday party to like upscale weddings where I'm like catering for over 300 people. So it's really cool to see the growth that I've had over the past 9 years, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how I can continue it after I graduate, because I've never had an opportunity to run my business full time. I've always had it on the side, and probably right after school it will be on the side for a couple years, but I'm excited to see like new opportunities that will come with that.
That's fantastic. I want to ask you here too, what's the biggest thing that you've learned from running this business?
Hmm. That's a really good question. What have I learned? I think one of the biggest things of being an entrepreneur is you have to wear all the hats, especially when you start out. And that comes with a lot of responsibility. And in eighth grade, I had no idea what a DBA is. I didn't know what a licensing was, like health and like get, certifications, like insurance. What is that, right? So it's been challenging to, especially when I was younger, to learn like different parts of how to run a business on like tax wise, like all the number stuff. But also like taking it when it reaches a ceiling, or like ceiling of growth, when I like the scale is like maxed out. What's challenging is it's only me and my family. So my capacity, I can't cater, and I can't, like, my supply and demand is kind of off, right? So I have all this business coming in, and I've challenged, I've been challenged with saying no to a lot of business that comes in because I just cannot produce that much. My infrastructure is not that big yet. And I just am not to that scale, which is challenging for me because I want to do all of it. But I just have to keep reminding myself that one day you will have the time and you will have the resources to do all of it. But right now is not the time. But keeping those client relationships and keeping those relationships strong when you have to say no to them is really important to generating business in the future.
How have your responsibilities for the business shifted since being in eighth grade in high school to where you are now in college?
Um, so I think responsibility wise, it has stayed the same, but it looks a little different now that I'm older and I have more responsibility and I have more business and more clients that I have to kind of work with and maintain those relationships. But responsibility wise, it's like I said, kind of the same, but as I've gotten older and as I know how to build a business and how to scale it and how to grow it, it's interesting and it's fun to take what I've learned in the classroom and the tips that I've learned here at school and apply them to my business, because doing that creates more responsibility and creates more work, um, on many different aspects. But the one thing that has changed drastically is the amount of work or the amount of communication and work that I put in with my clients, because my clientele has changed. Right, starting out, it was like the mom and pop, like I was catering events like 2 dozen each, and they told me what flavors they wanted, and made the cupcakes. Right, but now it's more like party. It's like weddings, it's huge events, corporate events, golf outings, like just
Mm.
that takes a lot more planning than just a 2-year-old birthday party. So that's one of the things that I have learned how to manage is working with a client for months, planning the event, um, just ironing out the little details that matter, and might not matter to my competitors, but they matter to me. And that's one of the things that's how I make myself stand out. But just maintaining communication and ironing out all the details before the event and ensures that it's going to just be a perfect ease into an event and make sure that I cover all their needs and my product is what they expect.